Hi everyone, this is Sarfraz from Aristotle Prep, and we are looking at passage 10 from the OG 13 RC chapter. This has questions 42 to 44. We will first read the passage, we will understand the passage, predict the main purpose, and then go to the questions. The first sentence of the passage is always very important. It says, in the 17th century Florentine textile industry, women were employed primarily in low-paying, low-skill jobs. The first sentence, I know the passage is about the lack of pay for women in 17th century textile industry, something about that. It will maybe explain why the pay is low. It will make a point why the pay should have been higher. Something on those lines, I don't know, but that's what I have in mind. So, to explain this segregation of labor by gender, economists have relied on the useful theory of human capital. So, okay, it will explain why this was the case. According to this theory, investment in human capital, the acquisition of difficult job-related skills, generally benefits individuals by making them eligible to engage in well-paid occupations. So, okay, if somebody invests in human capital, which is acquiring complicated skills, it obviously benefits that person because they can get better jobs. Women's role as child bearers, however, results in interruptions in their participation in the job market as compared with men, and thus reduces their opportunities to acquire training for highly skilled work. That gives you an explanation. So the reason men get better jobs is because men are able to take the training which will get them better jobs. Women, since they have to take breaks because of childbearing, are not able to take that training, which is why they end up with low paying jobs. So the problem is women not getting that particular kind of training. In addition, the human capital theory explains why there was a high concentration of women workers in certain low-skill jobs such as weaving, but not in others such as combing or carding. So, okay, it's explaining. So even in low-paying jobs, women are only working in certain kinds of jobs. Why is that? Because by positing that because of their primary responsibility in child rearing, women took occupations that could be carried out in the home. So the human capital theory basically is explaining two things. One is the reason why women get low paying jobs because they can't get the training required for high skill jobs. And the second, even in low paying jobs, why do women only work in certain jobs? Because they can only work from home. So that's basically the first paragraph for you, the human capital theory. Second paragraph says there were, however, differences in pay scales that cannot be explained by the human capital theory. So second paragraph is pointing out a problem with the human capital theory. For example, male construction workers were paid significantly higher wages than female taffeta weavers. The wage difference between these two low-skill occupations stems from the segregation of labor by gender. Because a limited number of occupations were open to women, there was a large supply of workers in their fields, and this overcrowding resulted in women receiving lower wages and men receiving higher wages. By the way, this explanation that we just read is not given by the human capital theory, it's given by the author of the passage. So the entire passage basically starts by saying that in a particular century, women only used to work in low-paying occupations. It then uses human capital theory to explain why that is the case. And human capital theory basically also explains why in low-paying jobs, women only work in certain specific jobs because they can only work from home. Second paragraph tells you there is something that human capital theory can't explain, and then the author goes on to explain that. That's basically the entire passage for you. I don't think there's any agenda in the passage. It's more or less a neutral passage. So with that thought, let's look at the questions. The first question, number 42. The passage suggests means it's an inference question. Suggests that combing and carding differ from weaving in that combing and carding were, so if you remember at the end of the first paragraph, these are all low paying jobs, but women only work in some, they don't work in the others. So I'll just check which one they're working in. They work in certain low skill jobs such as weaving, but not in combing and carding. Because so then the point is, the passage suggests that combing and carding differ from weaving in that weaving can be done from home, combing and carding cannot be done from home. That's basically your answer. So in that combing and carding were low skill jobs, so I'll stick to A, B and C, were low skill jobs that had to be performed outside. So A says performed primarily by women, that's okay, but that's not a difference. B says low skill jobs that were not performed in the home. That is the answer. C says low skill jobs performed by both male and female, irrelevant. D and E don't even read because these are not high skill jobs. Easy question. B is definitely your answer.